So last fall we had a presenter come, and I really agreed with a lot of what he had to say. He talked about the problems in education. First, we do not have enough deaf teachers. We have a lot of hearing teachers, and they all come and they make the decisions for us. They say, they tell us what's best, what's important in education. And we're just supposed to accept it and go along with it. It's the same, with business people or teachers. It's all the same. And I don't agree with it. I'm deaf. I know what I want. I know what I need to grow and to continue on. Anyways, the second problem is the language. Our language here in America is English. I live in an English-speaking world. But ASL is very important. Sign language is the key. Many people don't realize, schools and states are all fighting about it, whether they should use ASL or English, and they usually just follow by example. They follow whatever Gallaudet does. Also, now you're supposed to have a master's to be educated. Before you're just supposed to have associates and then bachelor's, but now you need a master's degree. There's not a lot of people in America that have a master's degree. It's maybe, I don't know, I'm just guessing 5-10%. And in the deaf community, that number is even smaller. Many deaf people only have a high school certificate, or they sometimes even drop out. And it's a big problem. Our schools need someone to develop to make everybody read and write, to have good classes for that so the deaf know how to read and write. If you have a problem with the technology change, then that's bad. You can go to sleep overnight, wake up, and everything is changed. It's a serious problem. So what can we do to fix it? I have about, 10 ideas, but I'm just going to go over like 2 or 3 of them. I think there's about 7 or 8 colleges that have a deaf education program. And they're all different. Some use SEE, some are oral, some use American Sign Language. What I think needs to happen is they need to all do the same thing. They need to all use sign language, ASL. We also need more deaf people involved, people from the local government. Now it seems like anyone who wants can just come in and make decisions for us. For a good example, I went to a meeting in Livonia, and so we were all sitting around in a big circle. There's about 20 people there. I was the only deaf person, though, and then I had my interpreter. Altogether, they had about 40 years of experience, 10 here, 15 there, and I had about 8 years of experience. So it was about 5 years ago that I was a student. And they're all making decisions on the method for the programs. They're all changing it, and they're all hearing students, and I was the only deaf person. And another example is I went to a presentation. It was a big group there, and there's this woman crying, and she didn't understand ASL. I sign SEE. I learned that was professional to teach that. And she was mad. She was mad at the college and mad at the program because they were switching it. But Gallaudet, they can't please everybody. It just can't. They just have to do what's best. Gallaudet needs to have a good program because everybody else follows by example. What Gallaudet does, every other deaf program is going to do. If Gallaudet doesn't practice, then the other colleges will follow. So, anyway, that's a topic of interest of mine and something that I'm passionate about. There's a lot of problem in society today with deaf. The deaf can't read and write good, and it needs help, deaf programs. So